In order to continue to keep attracting audiences new and old to any range, it's important to keep things fresh and exciting. Big Finish's award-winning unit, The New Series, is a prime example of this. As a Doctor Who audio spin-off, the most obvious way to keep the series appealing to fans is to simply pitch Kate and Osgood against a variety of popular monsters from the TV episodes. With the exception of the second set, which saw the introduction of a new foe, the Tengobushi, all the other sets so far have followed this rule. We've seen both the Autons and Silence come back for a second try at invading the Earth. By the fourth set, I was getting a bit worried that things might start to get a bit stale if such a trend continued for much longer. Now don't get me wrong, the first 3 sets so far have been of an incredibly consistent high standard, but then they sprung Assembled on us, which is the perfect way to remedy this problem, and it's all the more enjoyable for bringing back 3 old unit comrades from the Pertwee era. The return of Jo Jones, Captain Yates and Sergeant Benton is a clever move, combining both new and old unit to satisfy both audiences. Call to Arms is a great story to start this set, positioning the listener with Yates and Benton so we are reintroduced in a way to the new unit team through their eyes, which gives an original perspective to the series. There's some entertaining dialogue between the old soldiers as they remember the time of their lives, along with multiple references to past Doctor Who serials. In particular, the artefacts kept in Benton's attic and garage will thrill any fan familiar with Pertwee's early seasons. Even the remote Lake District setting harks back to an old adventure. Appropriately enough, it parallels in many ways with Wenley Moor, the location of the first Silurian story. It's no surprise that the ravenous reptiles are the main foe in this set, and they're brought back to life excellently by Niamh McIntosh and Richard Hope, both alumni of the Series 5 two-parter. This opening instalment carefully draws together elements of the old, quite self-contained unit serials with a slightly more modern method of storytelling that we're all familiar with. It delivers a story that works as an enclosed sequel to the Silurians, but also hints to much larger, more global threat to come in the later episodes. In Tidal Wave, Jo Jones, Nee Grant, enters the mix, teaming up with Osgood to investigate a Sea Devil base. The pair are delightful together, Osgood as starstruck as ever in the presence of yet another famous figure from Doctor Who history. Jo very much embodies the spirit of the Third Doctor when negotiating with the Sea Devils, or at least trying to, desperate to come to a realistic arrangement. This is one of the more subtle, but still much appreciated touches that contribute to the Pertwee era nostalgia. Little hints like this really help to give the set as a whole the essence of a Third Doctor story, even though Jon Pertwee himself is sadly no longer with us to take part. Part 3, Retrieval, shifts the focus back onto the Silurians and the new unit team, with the older cast members taking slightly more of a back seat. This in fact is a welcome move, however, helping to build up to the grand finale that is Part 4. After a cheeky quip at bureaucracy and the Prime Minister, this story sees Kate and Osgood back together on a mission to track down a Silurian research centre off the Greek coast. Meanwhile, the Silurian threat is slowly increasing, with genetically enhanced sea creature hybrids on their way to the British Isles. This isn't the only addition to the Silurian mythology introduced by Big Finish in this set. They've done well to develop the monsters and introduce new concepts and new ideas, most notably more radicalised, warrior-like Silurians who are much more primal and animalistic. They live off the adrenaline rush from hunting humans in a way that we've seldom seen on TV. This aspect really helps to sell the Silurians as a product of the prehistoric era. United is a suitably epic tale to end the set with. Although it has one of the largest casts seen across all 4 box sets released so far, the nature of the story enables all the characters to have a vital role in the narrative. Matt Fitton really gives the script everything he's got, delivering a climactic instalment that not only rounds off Assembled as a set, but also creates a satisfying sense of closure for the first 4 series, which were all announced together, even though another run of 4 is now on the way. The only criticism I might be tempted to make is that the actual resolution could be interpreted as slightly too Deus Ex Machina. However, at the same time, it is quite a logical idea, to be fair to them, that makes sense in the context of the other stories in the set. Overall, I would without a doubt recommend Unit Assembled to any fan of New Unit, Old Unit, the Silurians, or Doctor Who in general. By far, the set's strongest selling point is that it manages somehow to honour a multitude of old characters and stories, while at the same time introducing some original concepts, innovations and situations to keep things feeling fresh and modern. If you haven't yet ventured into Big Finish's Unit, the new series, I really can't praise it enough, and would definitely encourage you to buy any of the sets released so far. So, as ever, thank you very much for watching this review. If you've listened to Assembled yourself, please comment your thoughts on it below, I'd love to hear what you thought of it. If you haven't, check the link in the description to order a copy from Big Finish. And I'll see you later this week for another Doctor Who Series 10 review. Bye for now, guys. Hello, this is a microphone test for my review of Unit Assembled by Big Finish. We love stories.